Welcome to What Does This Mean? A stewardship educational venture by First Lutheran Church in Topeka. Hi, I'm Ralph Cremens, your host in today's video, and with me are Jen Betts and Karen Stafford, who will share with us insights and perspectives on the topic of stewardship of emotions. As you listen to them, ask yourself this question: what does this mean for me and how I live out my faith? Thank you, Jen and Karen, for joining us today. And before we begin, give me a brief background of your interest, expertise in today's topic. Jen, let's start with you, please.
My day job is I am a multi-systemic therapist for families who are at risk of their kids being removed from their house. So, I mean, my job and my interest in this subject really kind of stems from that. All of my background is in counseling and working with other people. So that's where my interest and my expertise mostly comes in.
Great. Karen, how about you? How is stewardship of emotion something you're involved with every day?
Well, thank you for having me. I have been a social worker for many, many years and have worked with people over those years. Currently working in a crisis center here at Vallejo, and people coming into crisis are often dealing with some struggles with emotions.
Right. Well, thank you. Now, stewardship to me means taking care of a gift that God has given us. And we're all blessed with emotions, but the emotions are kind of a two-sided coin, both helping us to enjoy the world, but sometimes bringing us challenges. And I imagine both you ladies are very involved with that aspect of helping others with their emotional crises. So I'd like to explore this on two levels: one, emotion of other people's, stewardship of other people's emotions, as well as stewards of our own emotions. So I'd like to start with you, Jen. How are you a steward of emotions when it comes to other people?
Well, I would say when it comes to other people, I try to listen and offer advice to them and help them to kind of navigate those emotions on their own. I find that trying to teach other people kind of those skills is helpful long term versus in that moment. But I mean, for friends, for family, for my families at work, in those moments of crisis as well, just being that listening ear sometimes is what's needed in that moment.
And as the steward of your own gift of emotions, how does that come into play for yourself?
So knowing my own emotions and knowing kind of how they help or hinder in a situation really is how I view myself as being a good steward of my own emotions. So if there's a really hard case at work, I know that I need to reach out to my supervisor and just kind of talk it through and just kind of decompress from that situation. So I know that's one thing that I need to do. And when it comes to, me personally being stressed, I know there's different ways for me to deal with stress versus anger versus hurt versus all of those things. I think just understanding all of my emotions and how the best way for me to approach those is how I'm a good steward that way.
Okay. So when you find a challenge, you know the other people and that you can share some of those concerns with.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why do you think it's important to develop this gift of emotional stewardship?
So I view this as my, just as we talk when people are brought on to counsel or they're becoming a Sunday school teacher, this is kind of the gift that God has given me. And so to develop this gift in myself and to help other people to develop that gift is really my way of serving God each day.
Thank you. So, and what advice or suggestions do you have that might help others develop this gift of emotional stewardship?
I think, the most basic is to get to know your own emotions. Like I said, know how your feelings and your reactions, if they help a situation, then kind of remember that for the next time you're in something similar or you're feeling those same feelings. And if they don't, then try to understand or figure out a different way. So being willing to kind of be okay with your emotions, good or bad, and fix them if you need to. And I think the other important part is don't ever, ever, ever be ashamed to reach out to somebody for help, whether that be professional help or whether that be calling a friend and saying, hey, I'm having a really tough day. Can we go to lunch? Can we just talk about something and that kind of thing.
So continuing to be aware of your emotions as well as continuing to work with how best to handle that when working with other people.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, millions of prayers throughout the day. Is every time I'm going into a session, I'm saying, Lord, please help me get, like, help me be the best gift to this family. Or when I'm feeling something, it's, Lord, please help me deal with this. How can I be better? How can I serve you the best?
Okay. Continuing to use prayer in your everyday life.
A million times.
Karen, how about you? How are you a steward of emotions when it comes to others?
The things that I have tried to focus on in the last few years, particularly, is to assume positive intentions. It's so easy to assume that people are attacking us when in fact it's really coming from their own place. So listening to what people are saying, listening to what people are not saying, and really trying to understand where they're coming from so that I can have a conversation.
Yeah, we see that a lot when we assume other people are intending something when really they're not. They're just talking from their point of view, I think is what I hear you're saying. So when it comes to being a steward of your own emotions, that gift of emotions, what would you like to add about that?
Well, I think Jennifer's absolutely spot on in terms of recognizing the emotions that we're feeling. And then pausing, taking a pause before acting or reacting to that emotion. Meditating, praying, taking time to get in touch with what our feelings are. And then looking intentionally at a positive way to move forward with those emotions, sometimes in spite of those emotions.
Thank you. So why do you think it's important to develop this gift of emotional stewardship?
Out of control emotions can absolutely wreck relationships and can keep us from functioning in a way that moves us forward toward our life goals. So anything that we can do to enhance our emotional well-being is going to help us with that.
Thank you. So what advice, suggestions do you have to help others if they want to develop their gift of emotional stewardship?
There are so many things that can help with this. And I thought that one thing I would just mention is practicing gratitude is something that has gained a lot of traction over the last few years. And it really is a technique that helps people enhance their emotional well-being and really shape their emotions in a way that is positive to help them with that moving forward that I was talking about.
Right. I just personally, I'll share something. I listened to a speaker once and they talked about, don't just be thankful for the fact that you have a family or people love you, but be thankful that the water comes right into your house every morning. That when you get out of bed, it was warm and you had a blanket, because there's so many people in the world that don't have those gifts that we just take for granted every day.
Absolutely. And taking that one step further, Ralph, being thankful for the people who made the teacup that you're drinking tea out of, or who built the pipes and put them in the ground so that you could have that water, that warm water for your shower.
Thank you. Well, thank you today for our guests, Karen Stafford and Jen Betts, and thank you for watching this video. Our stewardship theme for March is Stewardship of Our Intellect, and our next video in this series is scheduled for March 7th, 2021. May you continue to grow in your understanding of stewardship as you answer the question, what does this mean? And until next time, this is Ralph Crummins. Goodbye, and thank you.